Fans were saddened when Dolly Parton, who has been a beloved figure in the hearts of people all over the world for almost 8 decades, recently shared heartbreaking details from her past. But this seemingly helpless woman is capable of amazing triumph over all obstacles. This film will give you a whole new perspective on Dolly, who is among the strongest girls in history. Dolly Parton experienced extreme hardships and hardship in her early years. Her vast repertoire of sentimental and rustic tunes might not instantly imply it, but her compositions frequently depict a charming vision of Tennessean life. Her upbringing was anything but bucolic, despite songs like My Tennessee Mountain Home, which describe a life as content as a baby's sigh. Before I begin though, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel so that I may continue to provide educational videos and help me hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. In Locust Ridge, Tennessee, Dolly Parton and her brothers grew up in a modest 2-bedroom cabin without running water or electricity. The family's cabin contained a single bed and a little kitchen table, which was hardly adequate for a family of their size. Their living quarters were neither large nor pleasant. Even though their circumstances were difficult, Dolly Parton has a particular place in her heart for this modest cottage, which is now reproduced at Dollywood, her theme park. The Parton family. Despite their difficult circumstances, the Parton family was close-knit and was able to make ends meet. A.V. Lee, Dolly's mother, assumed the enormous responsibility of raising their 12 children and taught them the value of living life to the fullest. Even though Robert Lee was illiterate, Dolly thought he was one of the smartest men she had ever met. He put in a lot of overtime to support the family. Dolly's birth story is one heartfelt narrative from her childhood, as told by her younger sister Stella in a biography. Due to financial constraints, Dolly's father showed incredible inventiveness by bribing a doctor with a sack of grain in order to get assistance with Dolly's birth. When Dolly was only 9 years old in 1955, tragedy befell the Parton family. Larry, her younger brother, died 4 days after his birth. The family had a heartbreaking event, and Dolly admitted how much suffering they had gone through. She discussed the difficulties of her early life in a 2015 interview with TV reviewers, stating, "There is a lot of heartache and stuff that goes on with that, but that is what makes you who and what you are." Dolly Parton could have easily taken a different turn as a result of her difficult upbringing, but her family's unshakable optimism greatly influenced the way she saw the world. Dolly Parton said in a 2015 interview with Parade that her family was blissfully ignorant of their destitute surroundings and never dwelled on anger. She pointed out in a lighthearted way that they were unaware that they were poor until someone pointed it out. Parton's memories of her early years vividly depict their inventiveness and optimism. Despite the difficulty, she recalled about taking summertime baths in the river and wintertime washing with a pan of water. Coat of Many Colors. She reframed the story of her siblings wetting the bed with hope, remembering it as the only thing we knew to be warm throughout the cold. Songs like In the Good Old Days When Times Were Bad and Coat of Many Colors, 2 of Dolly Parton's most famous country hits, were inspired by her unwavering optimism in the face of hardship. Specifically, the latter song had such an influence that it was turned into a 2015 made-for-TV film. A moving comparison is made between Coat of Many Colors and the biblical tale of Joseph and his vibrant shirt. In spite of their limited means, Dolly's mother adoringly pieces together fabric remnants to make a coat for her in the song. Early career Parton thought back on her mother's ability to make life seem better than it actually was, and she admitted that even though she was teased for wearing the coat, her mother's attempts made her feel better about her situation. The idea that one is only impoverished if they so choose is embodied in this song. Dolly Parton considers Coat of Many Colors to be one of her favorite songs and has expressed her admiration for it. Her personal Cinderella rags to riches tale is a big part of her appeal. She stressed in a 2016 interview with Vogue, and the song highlights her mother as the unsung hero who made it all possible. Dolly Parton embarked on her incredible musical career at an early age. At the age of 10, she even accompanied her uncle Bill Owens on trips to Nashville, demonstrating her early aptitude for singing. After graduating from high school in 1964, Parton made a big life change when she moved to Nashville. Her musical career was greatly aided by the support of her uncle Bill Owens. Together, they were able to sign a record contract with Monument Records in 1965, which gave her career a bright start. But things did not go as easily as she had hoped during the early stages of her music career. I Wasted My Tears and What Do You Think About Lovin', two of Parton's early hits, were not very successful. On the pop charts, Happy, Happy Birthday Baby peaked at a respectable number 8. Dolly Parton wasn't going to let these early disappointments stop her from pursuing her artistic goals. When Dolly and Bill Owens co-wrote Put It Off Until Tomorrow for Bill Phillips in 1966, it was a turning point. Dolly seemed to be able to fully embrace her Southern sensibilities and have a big impact on the music industry because to this song. In 1967, Dolly released her first solo album called Hello, I'm Dolly. It was a big surprise because back then, not many people knew about Dolly in the music world. This early success was a really important moment in her career. It pointed her toward even bigger success in the future. Dolly's interesting journey also involved meeting Porter Wagner and getting a chance to be part of a popular show in Nashville. This was a huge opportunity that made her even more famous in the music industry. But it's cool to know that Dolly Parton and Bill Owens, who supported her music career, were also careful about their own success. In her book, Dolly's sister, Stella Parton, shared that Bill Owens told her not to pursue music, worried it might affect Dolly's career. This shows how much Dolly's family wanted her to succeed and protected her from any possible problems or competition. Early in her career, Dolly Parton had many difficulties, especially as a woman navigating a patriarchal music industry. She first became well known during her 7 years on Porter Wagner's variety show, but eventually she thought she had made enough progress to try her luck on her own. She stated in a Larry King Live interview that she wanted to spend the remainder of her career being more than just someone's lady singer. But Dolly's path of taking on solo projects wasn't without its challenges, ups and downs. One noteworthy endeavor was the one-season run of her own short-lived syndicated program, Dolly in the 1970s. She openly said that the concert was a mistake, even if she had no regrets, in a 2018 interview with Billboard. She called it not good and disclosed that she was really unhappy while it was being made, complaining that it didn't fit with her vision and that it prevented her from being who she truly is. In addition to her troubles with her TV program, Dolly Parton harbored misgivings regarding some of her more mainstream songs from the past. Despite having written half of the songs on her 1980 album, 9 to 5 and Odd Jobs, she said in a Rolling Stone interview that same year that she wasn't all that fond of her previous albums, even if they had helped her achieve her career goals. Though Parton thought she was trying to do the right things in the industry, there were opinions at the time that she had sold out. The popularity of the song 9 to 5 and the corresponding movie, which starred Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda, marked a turning point. With the flexibility and creative autonomy this success gave her, she was able to create music on her own terms and express herself fully via her art. When Floyd Parton, Dolly Parton's younger brother, passed away in December 2018 at the age of 61, her family suffered yet another devastating loss. Floyd was regarded as a Renaissance man with an extensive knowledge base and a diverse range of skills. He wrote in his obituary at Ashley Funeral Home in Tennessee that he and Dolly had a unique and intimate relationship that lasted their entire lives. They had worked together on some of Dolly's most important #1 hits, such as the 1978 single Nickels and Dimes from Dolly Parton's Heartbreaker LP and the 1991 song Rockin' Years, which featured Ricky Van Shelton. For Dolly, the death of her brother was a significant and life-changing event. Dolly Parton was devastated to hear of Floyd's demise. She declined to publicly address her brother's passing, with the exception of a joint statement she and her family made to people in 2018. The family honored Floyd with that statement, praising him for his love-filled life and his ability to write wonderful music. They revealed that during his memorial service, they all joined together to sing his favorite song, Rockin' Years, as a way of saying goodbye. Over the years, Dolly Parton has endured the anguish of losing multiple family members, and each one has left a lasting impression. She talked about the emotional toll that her mother's death took in 2003, saying that she was unable to sing Coat of Many Colors for 3 to 6 months following her mother's dying without crying. Her life and work have surely been impacted and inspired by these losses, which have deepened her artistic vision and strengthened her bond with her family. Dolly Parton started a revolutionary endeavor in 1986, transforming a Tennessee theme park into what is now known as Dollywood, a Smoky Mountain celebration, after being inspired by her experiences in Hollywood. Dollywood has grown in popularity throughout the years in Tennessee, claiming on its website to be the state's biggest ticketed attraction, as well as one of the biggest employers in the area, but there have been difficulties along the way to success. The 1989 Thunder Express roller coaster opening day was one notable event that clouded Dollywood's early years. According to the Associated Press, a brake issue resulted in the injuries of 18 persons. Although this was a concerning beginning for the theme park, it was only the first in a string of regrettable incidents involving visitor injury. According to WATE, a woman from out of state who was visiting Dollywood in 2004 fell from a moving rail car. But park officials found that Dollywood wasn't responsible for this specific occurrence. The safety of the park's rides and attractions has come under scrutiny in light of these and prior incidents. The Timber Tower, one of the park's rides, experienced significant problems and was eventually taken out of Dollywood. According to Coaster Critic, the ride broke down in 2007 and 44 passengers were left trapped for hours before being safely evacuated. These occurrences heightened worries about the park's safety record. A woman was suing Dollywood in 2015, according to TMZ, claiming she had brain damage from a fall from one of the attractions. Despite being involved in court proceedings at first, the two parties eventually reached an out-of-court settlement. In 2018, a mother of two launched a lawsuit against Dollywood, demanding $2 million in damages. This caused the resort to make news once again. She had been at the Dollywood water park and had suffered a spinal injury. 3 visitors were hospitalized after a themed decoration collapsed and struck them, all of whom are in stable condition, according to DoG. Dolly Parton kept up to date on park accidents and injuries during these episodes. As a well-known person and the face of Dollywood, she treated each guest as if they were a member of her large family, highlighting the significance of making sure that everyone who visited the park was safe and healthy. Dollywood has certainly had difficulties as a result of these incidents and litigation, but the theme park has managed to grow and draw guests from all over the world in spite of these obstacles. Over the course of her storied career, which has lasted more than 10 years, Dolly Parton has lost several of her peers, and each one has had a significant effect on her musical life. The passing of country music star Porter Wagner was one of Dolly Parton's most heartbreaking losses. Their work relationship was important, and he was instrumental in helping her career get off the ground. Parton created the famous song, "I Will Always Love You" in 1973 as an homage to her professional breakup, since she was so emotional about it at the time. Whitney Houston would subsequently become well known for her iconic re-recording of this poignant ballad for the Bodyguard movie soundtrack. Dolly and Porter eventually made up, and after his untimely death in 2007 from lung cancer, Parton said she thought his spirit will always live on in her and her songs. She got the chance to sing a genuine and appropriate farewell to Wagner on his death in a moving moment. When Don Warden, Dolly Parton's longtime manager, passed away in 2017, she was left with yet another devastating loss. Parton saw him as a collaborator, a father figure, a sibling, and one of her closest friends after they had collaborated for almost 50 years. She acknowledged the significant influence he had on her life and career and openly expressed her love and gratitude for him. Dolly Parton suffered a serious setback in 2020 with the passing of country music icon Kenny Rogers. Their cooperation on popular songs such as Islands in the Stream had forged a unique relationship. Rogers' passing took her by surprise. For Dolly Parton, losing Kenny Rogers was a deeply emotional and impactful experience. She told Today that she posted about her loss on Facebook, saying that a significant portion of her heart had left with him. This emphasized the strong emotional bond they had formed via their relationship and music. The renowned country music artist Dolly Parton, who is well known for her radiant smile, glitzy appearance, and upbeat demeanor, revealed details of a difficult time in her life in the 1980s in 2017. Although she maintained a cheerful demeanor, she disclosed in her collection of interviews, Dolly on Dolly, that she had experienced some incredibly difficult moments during this time. Dolly was engulfed in an emotional hurricane, chiefly because of an affair of the heart that transpired in the setting of her ostensibly open marriage. Her mental and emotional health suffered greatly as a result of this inner turmoil, which resulted in sadness and thoughts of suicide. She disclosed that she had considered suicide, and that for roughly 6 months, she had felt emotionally lifeless when she got up in the morning. But Dolly was dealing with more than just the emotional stress of her private life at that moment. In addition, she was juggling health concerns, family problems, and the aftermath of what she called a horrific incident on the production of her movie, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Dolly's coping strategies became risky as her life appeared to be going out of control. She fell into a profound and incapacitating sadness, turning to binge eating and even canceling her tour dates. She got to the point where she was considering suicide because the weight of her problems was so great. It was in this gloomy and dangerous moment that Dolly experienced something that would change her life. She remembered a crucial day when she was back at her house, her desperation driving her to the verge of considering taking extreme action. Looking at a pistol, as if there were some way out of her hopelessness. Popy, her devoted dog, knew something was off at that very time and came looking for her. She was brought back to reality with a start as she heard Popy's paws tapping on the floor. Dolly described how her dog's small yet meaningful gesture was crucial in preserving her life. She acknowledged Popy as a spiritual guide and hypothesized that the appearance of her devoted pet was a sign from God that her life had purpose and significance. She expressed her thoughts as follows: "I kind of think it was God's way of bringing me to my knees long enough to pray." Dolly Parton, Dolly Parton's niece, unfortunately died at the age of 36 in 2017, according to reports. After Tever went through a number of difficult personal experiences, such as addiction and losing custody of her kid, she received this devastating news. According to reports from All4Online, Tever had struggled with drug addiction, which her family had attempted to assist her in overcoming. Tever had been battling drug addiction, according to a previous article that year. One especially upsetting episode occurred in 2006 when she was imprisoned for abusing her boyfriend's sick mother in an effort to get money for drugs. Surprisingly, All4Online asserted that the Sevierville police had inexplicably misplaced the report of this encounter, casting further ambiguity over the course of these conflicts. In order to deal with her drug problems, Trevor had also joined a recovery center. The rehabilitation treatment cost $25,000, which was reportedly financed by Dolly Parton, who is well known for her extreme generosity and affection for her family. The Parton family was obviously deeply saddened to learn of Trevor's premature passing. They did, however, continue to exercise prudence and seclusion regarding the details of her death. Regarding her niece's passing, Dolly Parton remained silent. There weren't many information in Trevor's obituary, which was posted at the same cemetery as Dolly's brother Floyd. The statement acknowledged Trevor's son, parents, sister, and a number of aunts, uncles, and cousins, demonstrating respect for the family's right to privacy at this trying time. Since being married in 1966, Dolly Parton and her husband Carl Dean have enjoyed a devoted and long marriage. They had a close relationship, but they never had children of their own, as Dolly said in a 2003 interview with Larry King Live. She disclosed that although, like many young women, she did wish to have children when they first met, parenting did not end up working out for them. When they first started dating, Dolly and Carl had a big job on their hands because they were responsible for raising 5 of Dolly's younger siblings. They made sure these siblings obtained an education in addition to giving them support and care. Her family's needs were now her first focus. However, a significant health crisis in 1982 forced them to postpone their own intentions to start a family. According to the Huffington Post, Dolly Parton was sent to the hospital right away for a partial hysterectomy because of her struggle with endometriosis. She was unable to have children as a result of this medical operation, and this revelation sent her into a profound and agonizing depression. Later on, She opened out about her personal issues, telling the world through the Irish Examiner that it was a very trying time in her life. She said, "Every day I thought I wish I had the nerve to kill myself." Dolly had doubts about her capacity to be a good parent during her interview with Larry King, but she and Carl did discuss the prospect of adoption. She talked about her unwavering focus on her work and her doubts about being a truly committed mother. In an interview with Today, Dolly Parton reflected on her life with the benefit of hindsight and said she felt God had a purpose for her. Perhaps not starting a family of her own was part of that plan, she realized. Rather of having a biological child of her own, she discovered a way to give back to the community through her charitable efforts, especially with her organization Imagination Library, which gives kids free books. Dolly believes that this project has given her the opportunity to positively impact innumerable children's lives. And she believes that it probably was his plan for me not to have kids so everybody's kids could be mine. What are your thoughts on Dolly Parton's extraordinary life? Post your thoughts in the space provided below. We really hope this video has been useful to you. Remember to subscribe to the channel, share, and give a like if you enjoy the content. I appreciate you viewing, and I hope to see you in the upcoming videos. I'm going to miss you.